Today we're going to be tying up a nano-sized mini tube that can be used for low water. So what I've done is I've added on my thread, and basically I have probably about a 7mm tube here, and this is 1.8 tube with some, I think it's maybe 2mm junction tubing, and I'm actually tying the junction tubing onto the tube itself directly. So I'll fast forward it because you don't want to see all the hundreds of wraps. Now that we have our junction tubing and main tubing combined, and we've been sure to make sure that it's a steady gradient down the body, I'm going to just add on what'll be the rib, which is just some silver wire. You could use some fine silver oval as well. And as well as that, I'm going to use on a butt. Okay, and as you'll notice, I want this wire to go over the butt. I could varnish the butt for durability, but I want the wire to go over it, and I don't want to be varnishing the butt. As some people say that the fluorescent doesn't impact it, the UV doesn't show as well for the fish. I don't know, but it also saves me a lot of time whenever I'm tanning, so it's a win-win. Okay, so we just use, this is I think it's number 12 fluorescent green glow bright. You can use whatever fluorescent green you want really, and this is a great colour for low water and for clear water as well. Okay, so just added that on, a couple of wraps, and I've tied over white thread. If I was using black thread, which the head will be, it means that it wouldn't show up as clear once it gets wet. Okay, so the main body is going to be black floss. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double up 2 strands, use the weight of the bobbin to hold it down, and then bring it down towards that butt. Okay, then I'm going to bring my thread up to the head area. Okay, maybe twist it, floss, and then just start bringing that down the body. And this is one of my favourite low water salmon flies. So if you get a chance, write down in the comments below, folks, what your favourite salmon fly is. But I've had some fantastic days using this, but in different versions as well, like the size 18s and size 16s can work very well as well. Okay, and then just trim off our excess here, try and neaten things up. Okay, then we do 1 full turn at our tag, and then we just, our butt side, then we just do a few turns up. It could be 3, 4, 5, whatever size of tubing that you're using really. Okay, a few turns to secure that in. And then I'm also going to hold the tubing and twist the wire off. Okay, just missing a few wee things, clean up as I go along. Okay, so before I do the wing, I want to just add on a couple of wee bits of flesh. So I'm going to just use a couple of bits of crystal here, and this is just pearl. I'm just going to tie them in, just double them back, and then they're going to be cut to about the size of the wing, or thereabouts. Okay. For the wing, it's going to be black hair. You could use fox, you could use entirely up to yourself, whatever you want. I prefer black squirrel. Just seems to work well, especially in these smaller things where fox is maybe a wee bit too soft, because I'll be fishing this in the head of pools, in the streamy parts of the pools. Okay, so I've just got a bit of hair. I'm going to just remove the underfur. And lengthwise, probably wanted to go to the back of that junction tubing. Okay, so I'm going to hold it on, and then I'm going to use a pinch and loop method. I have a few wraps and have a look. I'm happy with that there. Next I'm going to get some super glue. I'm just going to put a small bit of it on the thread here, probably about 1 inch of thread, and again wrap on top of that again, and that's because the squirrel doesn't compress well at all, and it means that I can get a very secure hold. While that's drying, I'm just going to start cutting, but I'm also holding the wing just in case there's any slippage. Okay. Some of those cuts have actually stuck to that glue, so it shows that it works well. Okay. Then we're going to do a beard hackle. Now you could use hackle fibres to tie up yourself, but I'm going to just use the hair again. Small bit of hair is causing some issues. Okay, so again, I'm going to take off. Can be a little bit less. Okay, just cut it off at the base of the tail, and again, just hold the ends and just remove the underfur. Okay, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna cut up to the tiger shoulder. Okay, and again, pinch and loop, and have a look before I finish. I'm happy enough with that there. So a little bit of super glue, secure it in. I'll give an extremely secure hold. Okay, and I'm also going to cheat here. What I'm going to do is, because I know super glue is going to hold that thread as well, I'm going to cut off the thread and give that a chance for the glue to dry, but also change my thread to black thread. Okay, so just add on our black thread as normal. Just a few turns overlapping the tag. Then I'm going to cut off. And now, because I know that super glue is dried, I can get really well in there. Get a good clean cut. Okay. And just start building up that head. We can turn it back around again. Okay. And obviously, if you wanted, you could have changed the black thread at an earlier stage, or as a bit of a trigger point, you could use a different colour under the white. Okay, and then there's probably still a few wee white marks there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the whip finish tool, and that'll be securing the fly, but at the same time finishing off any bits that aren't black. Okay, so it's quite hard to do the whip finish tool whenever you're using a tube needle, but we'll make it work. And that is your mini tube, green button mini tube, an extremely effective fly at difficult times with low water. As always folks, if you enjoyed that video, do hit the like button below and hit subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time. All the best.